Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, I forgot to turn off my air conditioner before starting to film. Boy howdy. Okay, welcome back. So what are we doing? I'm going to be filling in the background for the piece I'm doing for my son. So no charities this week, no links in the comments, nothing like that. Just some pure old painting. Okie dokie. Artichokes. So, why am I doing the background first? Because I wasn't trying to be funny there. I literally forgot what I was saying. Because I decided that I'm probably going to be doing color pencils in the background too, to get that like dome camera effect, and I wanted to be able to do it all at once. So I'm actually going to move the picture for now, and badoom, practice page. And what we're going to do is just try to make some light purples here. We're going to try first this very light purple here. I believe for Jessie's hair we use this one. So that's got a nice soft lavender-ish tone. I want to try to... Oh yeah, I can get that super soft too for the middle. So I'm liking that one. I'm liking that one. Now let's try this darker boy. And for the darker boy, a little darker. Is indeed a little darker. I kind of like that one more. But I also wanted to try the ugly blue. It's actually a very lovely color. I just call it that because it's not as vivid as the other ones. It has to be used in an understated way, like in the storms I did in some of my previous pieces. Huh. You know, it's occurring to me, what color is James' hair? Okay, so James' hair, we'll go with this one, is, I think it's closer to this ugly blue, honestly. I don't know, Mandela effect, I'm kind of remember it being more purple. So here's older James, and yeah, it's kind of blue. You know, I always felt in older anime, like if you look at Japanese hair, they got the red tones and whatnot, and they have like those sun bleach tones. I felt like when you seen characters with like blue tinted hair and red tinted hair, it was to reflect that. And even when you start getting people like James, it was like representing old age. But you know, in my mind, it just kept getting like hypered up, and like, well, I could just literally make the hair pink. It's kind of like Aaron Raw. He put forward that the evolution of our idea of a dragon, of its fire, came from European artists not understanding the lashes of a monitor lizard's tail in depictions, because King George killed a monitor lizard, and I believe it was a Nile monitor, but they didn't know how many lashes to put, so like AI today, they just kept putting more and more. Yeah, so I want the ground and the futon thing. I don't remember what I called it earlier. It's like a pedestal. I want it to be pretty dark. And I want the light to or I want the background behind them to be lighter. I want it to be like a circle. Kind of like a spot filter. So it'll probably be more like that. But this I want really saturated. This might take a few steps just because of the amount of saturation. But I'll just make more videos, honestly. I mean, I'll just probably edit a lot of these together. I guess, well, you won't really see this. No one will see this if this happens, but I actually have to replace my phone battery pretty soon. So if my phone gets fried, this painting will just be kind of painted more when people see it again. Oh, see, that's what I want right there. So, you know, how's everyone doing out there? You know, I've been watching Naruto again, believe it. And I just got done with the battle with Pain. And I'll give it to him, besides changing animators like several times in the middle of it, like that entire season is probably like the best and most well-paced season of Naruto ever. And again, I love how like Naruto pretty much is just like believe it, and then the bad guy believes it, and then literally kills himself and brings everyone back because he talked to Naruto, and Naruto is just such a chill guy. That season's great. I hated right before it, there was a filler season. Now I'm on the one, it's like Aruka and their kids or something, and I'm just like... So to make it through Naruto, I actually took a break, and now I'm watching Evangelion again. You know, I missed that one as a kid, and as an adult, I was hanging out with my friend, and he's like, yeah, this anime, you never seen it? I'm like, no, and I was like, this is beautiful. And it's just weird, like in the way that only Japanese stuff is weird, because they don't have certain, like, beliefs stopping them from doing certain things. It was great. Well, anyways, watching that again, and you know, Shinji, like, it's funny just how much people hate on him. It's like, if you pay attention to the context, he's going through horrible shit, but people are like, stop crying and get in the robot. There's always, you know, I've always wanted to do edits of a lot of anime, kind of like the DBZ abridged, and one I really want to do is Neon Genesis Evangelion, the original one. And it all started with like this idea I had for a scene. His dad's sitting there, you know how he does the little villain pyramid with his Abraham Lincoln beard that a lot of guys have nowadays. Anyways, like, you know there's that scene where Shinji's in the robot and he's freaking out and he's just like beating on the dome. He's like, Father! Father! Like Action Johnny, just like, answer me, Father! And he's just sitting there at his desk like that. I want there to be like a moment where like he's just doing that, like, Father! And then I'm going to have to edit a lot of stuff into this episode again. But like he's just sitting there doing that, beating on it, and he hits the intercom. He goes, Shinji? He goes quiet for a minute, and it goes back and forth on him. And he's like, Papa, don't play that. And Shinji's just like, what? And he takes his finger off the intercom. And then he just goes back to beating on, Father! Father! Get in the damn robot. I love how everyone calls them robots, but they're maybe an organic robot. I guess, you know, I'm overlooking that organics can be used in robotics, but the Ava, I don't know. And the more you look into the lines between machine, especially advanced machine, and man, I mean, not man, but life, it becomes more blurred. I think truly advanced machines honestly are life. But then again, I question if fire is alive. I know it doesn't have free sentient will, but I mean, not every living thing does. I remember when I was a kid, I mean, like a lot of kids, I thought the sun was made out of fire. You know, I mean, they draw it, it's like on fire, but find out fire can't exist in space. I mean, the sun would have to be a giant oxygen ball, I guess. But they say that they don't know of any other planets that fire can form on at the moment. I'm going to check and see if that's still true. I mean, I heard that a long time ago, and stuff changes with space a lot. We got so much stuff now, but... By the way, didn't Elon say he'd be on Mars by now? You know, as long as we're talking about Elon, you remember when those, I think it was like some miners got trapped in that cave? And Elon went on, he's like, oh, they should just send in a little submarine to get them. In the submerged, collapsed mine. And it's like, are you going to do that, Elon? No, I'm just going to Be Captain Hindsight. He didn't help. Honestly, the only good thing, like good humanitarian thing that, I mean, you could still argue this was benefiting him, which, I mean, it's not terrible to do something just for someone underprivileged just because it'll help you too, is when the fighting in Ukraine started and Russia tried to block their internet, he gave more priority with his satellites to Ukraine so they can maintain internet. Not sure if he's still doing that. I'll just talk shit about it. You know, I'll point out they do something. You know what? As Elon too is, everyone always says, "Oh, we want to settle on Mars." You know, we want colonies on Mars. Well, I never get this question answered. I've only ever heard one other person ask it, and it was fairly recently. But how are you going to live on Mars? You know, like Cowboy Bebop, they had like the little tiny atmosphere in the craters, and they're kind of just bleeding oxygen off in space. I guess that was like their solution. But you'd have to have like a biodome, Pauly Shore type situation. Because they say Mars doesn't have a magnetic field. And the magnetic field is what keeps your atmosphere from getting blown into space. So, angry fish. So how would they make something to generate the magnetic force needed to to protect their pseudo atmosphere? Do they think they can somehow restore the planet's magnetic properties, which I don't think they do? Because like if you go there and you do anything, even the bacteria, to grow freaking like if we went and we released a bunch of bacteria to, you know, start photosynthesizing and develop oxygen for us, it would just get blown into space by the solar wind. It would just be getting stripped away. So it's like, you need like a dome, you need something. And every time someone's like, we're going to go to Mars, we're going to colonize Mars, it's like, are you going to be living in igloos? It's going to be like that movie where that guy was pooping on his potatoes. Which, I don't even know why he was pooping on those potatoes to begin with, because apparently Martian soil, much like moon soil, is actually really good for growing plants. They've done tests with samples they've sent back, and, you know, those tomatoes did great. See how pulpy this is and get messed up? Ugh. Now we'll start on this friggin' furniture thing I hate. You'll see in like especially kids books, because they'll do like quick, shittier jobs for kids books, that they'll just kind of like, it'll be very patchy watercolor, because they just want to do something quick, or it'll be like this, it'll be faded. And I hate when people just put really crappy art, because they're like, oh, it's a kid's book. Like, no, kids deserve good stuff. Kids don't know better. Kids don't know better if you don't teach them better. Teach them to expect more. By the way, you know, I mentioned before being peeved about the last kids book I did, and I cannot contact that girl at all. It's been over a year, so if you would like me to read the kids book I made on the channel, well, the last one I made, I also did another one for my mother that she never ended up publishing, but I'll read them both on the channel, so I can just show the art if you're interested in that. You know, as long as I'm talking about things you are personally interested in, this is a great time for our sponsor. I don't have one. But no, if there's anything you would like to see me paint on the channel, or if there's any charities you'd like me to paint for, because I do paint. I paint something every season and auction it off to charity. So if there's like a charity you want me to know about, you think I could do something for, or if you just want to request something, like you're like, hey, I would really like to see, I don't know, Mudkip kicking Blazekin in the marbles. You know, I love to hear about it. If I like it enough, I'll probably paint it. Or if I think it sounds stimulating to try to paint. And of course, you know, I also take commissions. If you'd like to buy something directly for yourself, in which case I don't really have to like it. As long as I can do it, I will do it. Of course, I'm going to try to like it. I mean, you gotta be passionate about what you do or it's going to suck. At least that's how I feel. So, you know, I was talking shit about the fading in the kids' book and like the patchy paint work, but I'm actually leaving it like that. You know, 3D light effect. I probably should have done more on the ground up here and faded out, but a lot of this is going to be cut off by frame anyways. But the chair button nub, the nub button is in frame. And I'm bringing in our piece of paper so I can get these test strokes down, because it can be hard to freaking recreate fading. How it's like in that little section over there by itself, so I'm gonna need another paper. And I have it down here, and I'm just going after I make a smear, getting some, coming back and adding it, and I'm just gonna slowly layer it in. And you'll see we'll get this really nice, lovely fading effect. See how much darker it is already just on the second pass? Sometimes you're going to want just water and not more paint. That'll help you pull out. That'll help you not get those dark separation lines that ruin your 3D effect. It's also going to make it look like it's responding to Jesse's shadow. I realized in the last video I kept calling James Jessie, and you know why? Because Jessie's girl. I'm shitting you, I had heard that song earlier that day. And that song has always made me think about Team Rocket. Because he was the only guy I ever knew named Jessie. Well, there's like another person, but there's more like a nickname they gave themselves. I just did it again, didn't I? I realized I've been making a mental mistake all these years. Look, the problem is that James is so femme. You know, as long as we're talking about weird names, I always found it, personally for me, there's people who are like, it's weird when there's a guy named Shannon, because that's a girl's name. Well, when I grew up, I knew a guy named Shannon. And that was the first Shannon I ever met. So when I first met a girl, I mean, like I was 8, named Shannon. It's not a very popular girl's name where I live. And I'm like, she's got a dude's name. And everyone else is like, you're weird. It's more of a girl's name. But some people name their son that. And yeah, just the perspective on that one's funny to me. It's like, just because of my personal experience, I interpret it completely different. And I was like, that's such a feminine name, you know, Shannon. And, you know, if you're listening to this and you're a girl named Shannon, I am sorry if I am offending you or making you feel in any way manly. It's not personally about you. Well, I guess it is now because I'm directly talking to you. And if you're watching this and you're a man named Shannon, you know, well, I'm sure you're used to people making fun of your name. It's like that Johnny Cash song, The Boy Named Sue. You know, his dad is going to be an alcoholic. He knew he wasn't going to be there for him. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to give him a name so he gets his ass kicked every fucking day. So he's a man. Unlike me, and he can stay around and raise family. Okay, see, I got that fading effect I wanted. It's starting to pulp a bit, so I might go back later and touch it up a bit. But it's really, it's like right here. It's like right where the flash would be. And the focal point because of meowth. Now this reminds me, I'm going to need to add shine to his eyes to match, not to match, to give him more of a curved effect. So like when I go in, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do the paintbrush or just the cool gray color pencil. I'll probably do both. But for her clothes, and to make riblets on here, I will probably do his eyes too. Probably end up darkening his eyes a bit too. I left them lighter because his glasses are going to go over it, his pink glasses. And I wanted to kind of be there, and I can just darken up the parts that aren't under the glasses later. And you'll be able to see how to do some like little fade effects. Same thing works like if you're ever painting a beach, per se. You know, I always sound cool when you use per se. But yeah, if you're ever painting a beach and you want like that water going over the sand, you'd do something similar. You'd put down like a light layer of sand kind of towards the edge where it'd be showing more, and then you would put blue over it, and you would have the blue darkening out on the parts that didn't get painted. That's another thing. If you ever are curious about certain painting techniques and you just want to see certain painting techniques to learn about them, I mean, even if I'm a little rusty on them, I would be more than happy to do that on the channel as well. I feel like these are the things I say the most in my videos, and at my current engagement level, it might seem silly, but I'm sure it'll pay off. Eventually someone's going to be like, yeah, actually I'm curious, how do you blend this? How do you do that? And then I'll be able to give them something, and they'll be like, wow. Okay, see here, I got that dark line. So part of what I'm going to do is avoid that spot and work around it to try to darken up everything around it, because I messed up. So we'll start with like Meowth's foot. See, and we've already blended that part, so now we just need to get up. We don't want to go over it because it's so dark. Just like Isaac Hayes' chocolate salty balls. See, I was going to paint in there, but pretty sure that's where his coat takes over, so. Just going to delicately get it in there. Okay, so this video is a little long. So I'm actually going to finish up this and probably do this part of the background in a separate video. Because, well, again, processing power of my phone kind of struggles with the longer videos. Have a lot of glitches, have to start over sometimes. But once I get my battery replaced here in a week or so, after payday. Maybe I'll be able to make them a little longer. Personally, I figure if someone wants to see me like continuously painting, that's when they're going to go to the playlist. And they're just going to pick like the picture they like and watch the whole process for it. So, looks like a happy little caterpillar, I tell you what. This mess up, get water all over right now. So we got the nubbin done. Again, I might go touch it up when the paper is not so pulpy and fresh. But we would probably start that off when we're doing another one. The colors also change a bit as it dries, so when I come back tomorrow and look at it, I'll really decide. So then, what are we going to do next? We're going to do the background with the watercolor. Thank God that was a hair. And then we're going to go in and do our shadowing, what we're going to do with brushes, and what we're going to do with color pencil. Then frame it up and we'll do a reveal of me showing it to my son. I showed him the figures were done. I don't want to show him anymore until it's 100%. Knowing my son and his emotional range, it'll be either extremely over the top or extremely underwhelming. But, you know, I'm really excited to see how it turns out for him. And I hope you are too. And I hope to see you back for more videos like this in the future. I want to thank you if you've made it this far. That and any interaction you do with my videos greatly helps me in the channel. Until next time, have a great day.